It's that time of week, guys, where we play Trash or Grab, the game where we check the weekly vendors to see if the items worth grabbing or they absolute trash. Hey, it's Dan, and welcome to Unified Gaming. So in this one, we're going to be talking about the golden vendor and what you can get as all the other ones. It's always worth mentioning that with these things, they're always focused from a PvP perspective, as you can see in the gameplay behind, but I do touch upon PvE, and more importantly, their stock does change week on week. So if you are watching in the future, this is recorded on the 18th of October 2025, and the stock will be different. As for the vendor itself and kind of where can you find them, the vendor can be found in Cyrodiil in the following places. It's in Northern High Rock Gate. If you're over on the yellow team, it's Western Elsewhere Gate, and if you're on the Ebonheart Pact, it's in the Southern Morrowind Gate. As always, if you like the series, then like, comment and subscribe so you can stay up to date with it, and if you want any questions, just leave a comment down below. If you do want to support the channel, get access to videos early, exclusive builds and guides, and much more, such as the little montage at the front, where there's a gameplay guide and much more, there are details down below how you can support the channel, and you can see things such as this. For the build itself and for what you can get, this week she's selling a range of items that are a bit okay. You got Aelid Refuge, which basically just reduces block. So when you hold block, you can block more damage. It's not that useful in all honesty. You then have the Kamanona Tong set. When you kill a monster and gain XP points, you do more damage. It is literally a PvE set. This is not that good. It sounds really good on paper, but there are better sets, so just skip this. Medusa used to be really good, it gives you crit and lots of it. It's not bad if you're brand new to the game, you need a set to get you out of the gate. You could however use other sets such as, Order's Wrath, that's still pretty good. So I wouldn't rush to buy this, and it is a dungeon set. The dungeon is easy, it's a base game dungeon, but still. You didn't have 2 throw, this just gives you just crit chance. It's basically not worth it, you can get this easily enough from a skill, so again, just skip this. For the helmets this week, I always con a few helmets a little bit less than shoulders, just because they're easier to get, and also these are base game ones too, so they're even easier still. You have Infernal Guardian. This is a really fun set. It's not meta, but it's fun. PvP wise, you wouldn't use this in all honesty. PvE, it has some use, but again, it's very niche, and again, it's not end game, so it's just fun. When you use a shield in yourself, like a sorcerer for example, you shoot 3 fireballs out of you that attack people nearby, and it scales with weapon and spell damage. The damage is respectable, it's not huge amounts of damage, it's not a DPS set if that makes sense. It's more of a I don't want to die set. So if you're worried about dying, it's a way to do some damage whilst you're being defensive. And that's true for PvP as well. So if you're using shields a lot, this will proc a lot, but the damage isn't super high. So it's more of a visual get away from me rather than an actual effective get away from me, but it's still a fun set. And if you're new to the game, it's worth getting. It's easy enough to farm. The one piece is decent as Magicka anyway. The other set is Swarm Mother. This is a mid set. It's good for specific builds in PvP, but that's it. The reason why it's good is this one piece. It gives you Magicka and Stamina. So anybody who uses a sorcerer base class, or you use both resource pools and you're stacking Magicka for big shields, this is fantastic. So this is like Domihorse, which is a DLC set, but it's base game. And what's nice is that this is just, you can put them together to get loads of resource. So I do utilise this on 1-bar builds quite often, so it's really worth considering. It's easy to get in all honesty and to farm, but if you don't want to farm it and save yourself some time, you can just buy it. The actual 2-piece, when you block an attack, you pull people to you. It's a bit like the Necromancer armour that pulls people to you. It's not as good, and it's not as good as Void Bash, so don't think it's a Void Bash set, but it's okay. So if you're a werewolf, you may use this because you can't use Void Bash if you want to be a werewolf tank in PvE, but again, this is other options, and this is just more for the one piece. But that's the vendor this week. The items are a bit mid in my opinion, they're not super good, but they're still worth considering. We're now going to hop on over to the Infinite Archive and talk about what you can buy there, and just really touch upon should you or shouldn't you in all honesty, as well as some other stuff. The vendor themselves is in Apocrypha in the Infinite Archive, and we're going to go as far east as we can, and we are looking for a vendor called Filer All. This vendor has a rotating stock again. It's normally Tuesday to Tuesday rather than over the weekend, but I've thrown this in one video, and it's just worth stressing that this uses its own currency. So if you don't have access, or like you don't have much of this currency, you do need to farm it quite quickly. For the stuff themselves, they typically sell a range of like leads and also some scripts. So lead wise, you've got one for the Void Mantle set, and I actually used the Void Mantle set on this build ironically. This mythic I can show you right now. It's this one here. Increases the damage of your non-ultimate heavy attacks by 50%. So for a heavy attack PvP build, this is fantastic. I actually use this on a PvP build. It's a members exclusive build on the channel, but it hits really, really, really hard in PvP. This is like stupidly good because this 50% applies at the end before all, like after all the base stuff. So if you use on like Sergeant's Mail and this, Sergeant's Mail boosts your heavy attack, and then this adds like an additional 50% modifier at the end, which means that gets a huge damage boost. I also use it on this build, which is just more fun because it gives you sustain. So when you light attack and you're rolling around, it's basically heavy attack sustain, but at all times when you're light attacking, it's really good for sustain. So it's actually a pretty decent mythic. The only downside in PvP is it's a shoulder, so you do lose your monster set, but it is worth considering. The leads themselves, though, in all honesty, are quite easy to farm. So I wouldn't like worry about, oh, is this super hard to farm? Because, you know, the actual mythic I farmed it in like 3 days. So it's pretty quick as a mythic to farm in my opinion. But yeah. The only thing I would say with this one itself is that this is the last boss of a trial. I did it and I got it first time. I don't know if that's just pure luck. So it is the Law of Morkar's trial. For this reason, I would probably just buy this because I know Indeeds can be a bit difficult, especially trials and trying to get in if you're on a console or something. And it's a fun mythic. So I would buy this person and just farm the fortunes, because you can do this yourself and just buy this and then voila, you don't have to do the trial, you can skip it all. But it's a cool mythic. Not meta, but just fun. The other one is just a jewelry piece. It is what it is. And then for the scripts this week, we have Expedition, Mangle, Multi-Target, and Gladiator Tenacity. With these scripts, it is really worth mentioning that these are going to be like 4 or 5 times the price, and that's because if you don't know them. If you do know them on one character, at least they're going to be these prices here. And for 4,000, I think Gladiator Tenacity is worth it. It's a very good script I use on my Sorcerer in PvP. It reduces damage by 8% on contingency, very, very good. Multi-target is more niche for shield bash builds, in all honesty, trying to get some healing. Mangle is pointless and Expedition is not really worth it. So if you were to buy one, Tenacity only if you can get it for 4,000. For 20,000 it's not worth it. So I would personally get the lead up here. This is very good just because it saves you doing a trial, and that can be quite like time intense. We're now going to hop on over to the Scholarium, and in the Scholarium we will talk about what you can get there. It is worth stressing that all of the leads you can just farm and play the game, and you'll get them like quite consistently. That said, if you haven't actually done like the farm, there is a video on the channel. I show you how to get 10 scripts a day. It does work. It is just worth stressing that you do have to complete this entire quest line. So if you are after these scripts, you need to have all of these doors glowing blue, including the one at the back, on at least one character. And for the vendor, you do need to have this Indrik, this one here, for the vendor to appear. But the scripts are really worth considering and like stockpiling, because they are quite useful. For Fernando, he sells the following. He's got Prophecy and Savagery, Disease, Ultimate, and Leech and Thirst. In all honesty, these are not great. So I'm just going to say out there, they're all pretty bad. I wouldn't really use many of these. The only time you may want to get some is if you want to do stuff like this. You buy one, you then get out a bank if you have one, deposit in the bank. You can literally type in script, literally go deposit those, and then buy another one. So if you've got some golds going, I would buy 2 or 3 and just chuck them in the bank. Only because you never know when you might actually need it on a skill. It's very, very unlikely you're going to use these ones in all honesty. But still, I'm going to buy them just in case to keep just a couple in there, because I never know if I need to use them. Personally, you wouldn't use any of these. So yeah, but I like to have the option if I change to character or try something a bit more niche as a content creator. The final place we're going to check is the Imperial City, and here we have a look to see what leads primarily are worth buying. Just like we saw with the Infinite Archive, there can be some good leads sometimes, and this can save you hours and hours and hours of grinding. When you get here, you want to look for the fire and anvil symbol. It's like this. And then you want to follow it around, and you're looking for a vendor named the Telvar Merchant. This vendor's got a different name and a different appearance per alliance, but if you're Daggerfall Covenant like me, it is this orc over here. She also a range of different things, including some like skill styles, which are quite cool. The jewelry and stuff, just always leave these are just not worth it, because you can buy these from other players, and they should be priced about 10,000 to 20,000 Telvar at the very most. They are overpriced significantly. The liege yourself, you have one for Shapeshifter's Chain. The mythic itself isn't that good, so I wouldn't really get this. Then you got Pearls of Elfanoy, I think it's pronounced, and this basically is an ult gen set that when you heal people, you get ult back. It's very niche. It's not that good, in all honesty. There are some like very niche like support healer builds where you can use ult transfer sets and use this mythic and then transfer ult. It's very niche. It's like not gonna. You're gonna spend so much time setting it up that you're not really gonna really benefit from it massively. So I wouldn't rush for any of these personally. They're more if you want to collect them, great. Scripts, we have Brutality and Savagery, Mobilize, and Thief Swiftness. All of these, in my opinion, are overpriced. They are all stupidly expensive. I have over 1 million like Telvar. I do not spend this on this. It's just not worth it. The only things you typically want to buy is either the style, if you like the look of this, or the leads if they're good. So yeah, that's it for the week. There are some it's a bit of a midweek, in all honesty. The only thing I would recommend getting is that lead if you don't want to farm the trial. That is about it. I'll put some on the montage up again. This build is available on the channel now. It is available for all people, but if you want to see more gameplay and so on, there is a video coming out very soon, and it's going to go through like tips and tricks, about 30-minute video. It really breaks it all down, and this is a really fun way to play PvP. It's not meta, it's different, but really, really, really fun, and it's about damage over time. But yeah, I'm just going to wrap this video up here. I'm going to say a massive thank you to everybody that watches and supports. If you want to do all that stuff, like stuff really helps, and consider becoming a member today. But until the next video or stream, I'm going to say thanks for watching, take care, and bye!